Hey, what's up everyone, how's it going on? Thank you so much for coming to this video. I am Ayrus and welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and today we're going to talk about the best cards to actually clone, and also I'll be giving you an insight about how to use the clone spell and which are the best troops to actually use the clone spell on. Now it's going to be a pretty simple guide, but then before I start over, make sure to click on the bell notification icon if you're actually subscribing to the channel for Clash of Clans or Clash Royale content, and also leave a like if you enjoy this guide. So let's get into the guide itself. So when it comes to the basics, of course, Clone is a card that actually costs, a spell card that actually costs just 3 elixir. And for 3 elixir, you can just make so much out of this single card itself. It's just going to do so much damage on whatever troop you're actually putting on. So the main motto of actually putting in the clone spell is to actually duplicate the card you're actually putting in the clone spell on. So it has a 3 tile radius, which is pretty decent, but then it actually clones the troop they're actually putting to the appropriate level. It's not a very significant level, but then as you upgrade, it kind of tends to increase. So the clone spell is a really good card unless you actually put it on a really good card. Now if you're actually putting it on maybe the skeleton that just costs 1 elixir, it's not gonna be a good choice to make that, because it's not gonna actually do anything, because those skeletons are not gonna do anything. The best cards to use the clone upon is these that do the death damage. So death effect or death damage, whatever you name it. So these are the cards that you actually have to put in on. So there are the Lava Hound, the Golem, the Giant Skeleton, the Balloon, and the Goblin Barrel. Goblin Barrel, of course, does not do the death damage, but then he is also in the list. So these are the best 5 cards that I recommend you to put right on the arena. As soon as they go and connect to the tower, you actually have to put in the clone spell to do the best damage out of it. So of course, the first card we have over here is the Lava Hound. Now, the Lava Hound is a really good card to clone. Of course, you would have seen at least one guy actually using the clone spell on the Lava Hound. The fact that it's really good, you can just make so much profit out of it. The fact that the Lava Hound is a great tank, and if you can just clone it, the tower will be locked on to the big Lava Hound that has a massive amount of hit points, while it actually is gonna clone another Lava Hound, and then this other Lava Hound, if it does, it's gonna actually create some pups, and the real Lava Hound is also again gonna create some pups, which does so much damage. The pups are the real big threat, not the Lava Hound himself. So again, if you can just get the lava pups out there and do 2 extra damage, because one set of these lava pups, and then again the main Lava Hound dies, and then another set of the lava pups are going to come in, that is when you're getting most out of these lava pups. So make sure they're actually putting in the lava pups, the Lava Hound on the clone. So that's going to really help you a lot. The next card is the Golem. Now the Golem is really cool as well, because if you just leave the Golem, he actually does 200 damage, right, all by himself. And if you can just clone that guy as well, he's gonna get 200 plus 200. Now if the Golem is actually gonna die, he's gonna do around 250 damage when he actually dies. So that's the death damage he's actually gonna do. Now again, the Golemites are gonna come in, and if the Golemites are gonna die, they're again gonna add in 50 more of that. So it's a total of around 350 in total. This is according to the tournament levels, approximation, not the exact value. But then the tournament level is actually gonna cost you 350 damage in total, somewhere near to that. So this is just without the Golem actually doing at least 1 shot to the tower. You can actually count even further. If the Golem is actually connecting to the tower and then hitting it again, then you can just see the amount of damage he's going to do. So 2 Golems, which does 200 damage, and if 1 Golem dies, they're going to do 250 damage, and then the Golemites die, they're going to do 50 damage. So 50-50 and the 200 there. So that's the Golem. That is why you actually have to clone the Golem as well. Now the next card is the Giant Skeleton. I would say this is the toughest out of these all, because he's really hard to actually get him to connect to the tower. You probably won't go to the tower, you'll probably wander around, because they're actually going to put in something or the other. If someone is coming up with a Giant Skeleton towards me, then I'd put in something, say the Goblin Gang or maybe a Spare Goblin. I definitely have these spawn attack troops with me handy, because I know these kind of big guys will come in and just devastate it all by themselves. So of course I just taken some of the other card that actually will take down the Giant Skeleton no matter what, but then he is really hard to get him to connect to the tower. But then if he actually does connect to the tower, just drop in the clone spell. just trust me and drop in the clone spell. You're actually gonna make around 1,000 plus 1,000 from the real guy himself, and then 1,000 from the cloned one. For just 3 elixir, you can just remove 2,000 of the hit points all by himself. That is again without him even actually touching the tower. I mean, without him actually doing any additional bit of damage to the tower. You can just see the amount of damage 10 elixir can just do 2,000. Oh my goodness, that's just massive, guys. And upon that, if they're actually putting in some troop like maybe the Wizard or something, they're actually going to come across the giant skeleton dead damage bomb, then again they're going to die. So it's a really big profit, but then trust me, it's going to be really hard for you. So I would recommend you not to use it unless you know how to actually use it. Now I would say probably put in a witch or something like that to make sure that she is actually clearing down the area splash troops, or maybe the minion horde or something like that, because, or you can actually put in the Wizard as well. That's gonna really work. And you can also use the tornado to drag in all the ground troops towards the tower, so that the giant skeleton will drag towards the the tower, and then once he dies, he's actually gonna do some area splash to that tower itself. So the last troop over here is the Goblin Barrel. Now, unlike these 4 cards over here, he does not do the area splash. I mean the dead damage, but then he actually does really great damage to the tower itself. So if you can actually ignore the the Goblin Gang, not the Goblin Gang, the Goblin Barrel. I'm extremely sorry, Goblin Barrel. If you're actually ignoring the Goblin Barrel, you cannot just see, you can just see how fast the tower is going to go down. It's just going to go down within no time, because those cloned ones are going to do some massive amount of damage, and the tower has to do around 2 shots to kill the real ones. And by the time they're actually taking those real ones down, these other clone ones are going to do so much damage. And trust me, if you just ignore this big threat, you're for sure kidding me, because they're just going to take it down within no time. And of course, just clone it, but then make sure you're not the opponent does not has a counter for it, like maybe the log, or maybe arrows or something like that. So if the opponent has a log or a arrow, then of course it's going to be a big fail for you. So the last card is the balloon. Now you cannot just leave the balloon all by himself. Now just a single balloon can do so much damage. Now if you can clone that balloon, oh my goodness, just leave that alone. Leave this topic alone. It's just gonna do crazy bit of damage. And also he's gonna do some dead damage. That's around 200 or something like that. That's really cool as well. So the balloon all by himself has a decent amount of hit points, and then if the tower is locked on to the real balloon, which has a ton of hit points, and then the clone one is going to do some crazy bit of damage along with the real one, then once the real one dies, it's actually going to shoot the cloned one. So again, around 150 or around 200 hit points is going to go down from the dead damage. So that's really worth putting in a balloon and actually waiting them take that tower down. Just see how it's gonna work. So again, the balloon is a really good card. So these are the 5 cards that I actually would recommend you to actually use in order to make sure that you're making the best out of the clone spell. Other cards like maybe the skeleton army would also work if the opponent does not have any area splash troop. So say if you put in the skeleton army and then clone it, and the opponent has a knight, just the normal knight, then of course he's not going to be in a position to take that down. It's just going to go down, and the tower is going to go down as well. But then that's going to be really rare. I would not recommend you to actually use it, because most of them will actually have the arrows or maybe the log to counter against that. So it's going to be pretty simple, you guys. So again, the skeleton armies and all these troops aren't worth actually putting in a clone. So yeah, you guys, the 5 cards are of course the Lava Hound, the Golem, Balloon, Giant Skeleton, and the Goblin Barrel. Goblin Barrel, if the opponent has a arrow or maybe a log that actually bait that down, then don't actually put it. I'm saying it's gonna be really big loss for you. So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's how clone spell actually works. Make sure you're using it the right way. And thank you so much for watching till the very end. I'm Ayrus, and I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, goodbye.